This is BarrelCounter.com with Colin Ward, now with 100% more clickbait. In the last few weeks, we've had a wave of conflicting messages about the future of the oil market. On one side, you have the IEA and forecasters like Rystad calling for a significant oversupply in 2026. On the other, OPEC and the major IOCs are calling for a more balanced market. So, what's up with this massive disagreement? To understand the conflict, you have to understand what a forecast actually is and what purpose it serves. When you predict rain, the clouds don't care. But when you predict a market and you have a voice loud enough, it can actually change the result. This is the problem with these major public forecasts. They are message forecasts, trying to influence the outcome. For example, anything public from an IOC should have a stamp on the cover that says, "Dear shareholders." It's a pitch. The IEA is like this as well. They have a lot of European stakeholders that are pushing for net zero, so they avoided publishing a business as usual scenario for years. Conversely, OPEC is far more confident in the existing system continuing as is, and I agree with them, so their reports are typically more optimistic when it comes to demand. Now, if you want a real forecast, you have to grapple with the incredible uncertainty built into the market's data. We, as forecasters, have three massive structural problems that cloud the picture. First, real supply and demand is kind of unknowable. The system is so large, it's impossible to track every barrel that comes out of the ground and every place that it's consumed. For example, the IEA recently had nearly 1.5 million barrels per day of oil simply unaccounted for in their reports. Now, this is not unexplainable or unusual. It's because non-OECD demand numbers are very murky, Chinese stockpiling is intentionally opaque, and the oil black market is bigger than ever. Second, geopolitics are inherently unpredictable. Sanctions impact supply, tariffs impact demand, and policy can instantly shift millions of barrels around the balance sheet. And third, price fundamentals have gotten a bit weird. Post-pandemic, OPEC was making a bunch of cuts that didn't really raise prices, and now they're making releases that aren't really dropping them. Instead, sentiment is driving the massive swings in the market based on what-if kind of news. This is partly because we're realizing that the energy transition isn't really going to kill oil. There's evidence for this in that the IOCs are dropping some of their, climate-based plans. Climate laws are being scrapped. And frankly, even Greta Thunberg and Bill Gates have moved on to other issues. Now, here's the fascinating part. As a forecaster, I've met and worked with the guys making these public reports, and we all had something in common. There's always another forecast that you don't publish. If you want to see what a forecast like this looks like for yourself, you can do one of a few things. You can take the major forecast from IEA, EIA, OPEC, etc., and just average them together, and more or less some of the biases cancel out. Or you can look for one of the smaller voices that nobody's listening to because they can say what's probably going to happen without any fear that they're going to impact the market. On that note, I'm currently working on my own model, which I have plans to launch in the new year for anyone that's interested. Send me a note if you want to hear more. So, that's it for today at Barrel Counter. We'll see you next time.